Hello to my fellow friends in history, and that would include anyone who has ever gone on vacation and looked around to think, is there a museum somewhere in this town? So what I want you to imagine today is that you're an officer at the Battle of Saratoga, one of the most important battles in the Revolutionary War. It is chaos. There's cannon fire, there's gunshots, there's yells, and you realize suddenly there is a flanking movement coming towards you. So how are you going to get your men to turn and address this new threat? You don't have encrypted satellite communications like we do today. You don't even have, in my dad's time, he served in the military, and I actually have a picture of him on something like a walkie-talkie, you can think, where you'd push it with your thumb, and he would tell the tanks where to shoot their coordinates for the practice fire in Western Europe during sort of these practice things. And you don't have any of that. So you are, as I said, either you could be a British or American Continental Army officer, and you're in a world of trouble because your men have no idea this is coming at you. So what you do is you use these amazing drummers. Drummers are the communication system in the Revolutionary War. They'll tell your soldiers to move forward, to retreat, to change formations. And this wonderful group that is the picture here is actually the Michigan Plymouth Drum and Fife Corps. And I just saw this was the US Navy put out this picture, and they're in front of the USS Constitution in Boston, which if you ever get a chance, visit. But they're representative, I think, really of what you would see in the Army, because these are all volunteers, and their ages 12 to 18. And in the American Revolution, those would be ages of kids, really kids, out on the field. They could even be, there's a few cases as young as 10 years old. And you might think, well, why would they put people that young in such a critical and dangerous position? And not only is it critical, we talked about they are the communication system, but also very dangerous because you're often at the front lines. You have no weapons, so you're vulnerable to, cannon fire, rifle fire, and also capture. So why young people there? Well, part of it is they are available cheaply. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. Sometimes they're not paid. They could be considered like a mascot or secondary position, so they don't have to be paid. They are a low desertion risk because desertion is a big issue on both sides, whether it was the Continental Army deserting to a British Army camp, a British Army soldier or Hessian deserting to an American camp, or either side deserting, trying to just either go home if this was their home, or just go out to a town and try to blend in and get a job and live a life. But kids in unfamiliar places are less of a desertion risk. So anyway, these drummers have to be incredibly brave because you imagine not only keeping your calm under fire, so to speak, but you literally have to keep a beat as cannon fire and rifle shots are whizzing around you. So I think these are some of the bravest people, honestly, in an army. So lastly, I was going to say that the drummers are important not just on the field of battle, which of course they are, but also in camp. So they would be the ones to beat out reveille, which would be sort of wake up, or tattoo, it's time to go to bed. So they're a communication system throughout the entire day of an army, so to speak. Anyway, I wanted to say one more time, thank you so much to the Michigan Plymouth Drum and Fife Corps for all you're doing to keep history alive. And if you think, I'd kind of like to travel to Saratoga 1777 and actually time travel to the battle as long as I'm not going to get shot at, well, you can, for a limited time, download freely Kep Westguard's most recent adventure, which is Kep Westguard and the Second Battle of Saratoga, which will allow you to be right there on the battlefield with no injuries.